Hello, CTEC 121ers. Bruce back at you, continuing on with a Chapter 4 video, right where we left off in the last video. So I'm going to close down this window, and I'm going to just leave the shell right there. And if you remember, right, we talked in week 3 with the math library about importing libraries, right? There were two ways to do it. When we use just import and graphics, right, we need to prefix, right, our functions that are in the library, right, with the name of the library. And this happens to be graphics. So instead of, well, win equals graphics.graphwin, right? So I'm going to just show you here. I'm going to comment things out. And do you remember this alternative here that we had? From graphics, import everything. Okay, just a different syntax. And now instead of writing this line like this, okay, we are going to write it as win equals graphwin, right? And then Bruce Elgort 600 by 200. I have a typo somewhere. I have an extra quote. Okay, so these two are equivalent. And now I can not have to type as much, right? Because I don't need graphics dot. And just to run this here, yep. And I should get my window popping up here. Oh no, not responding. Something's a little slow. What happened? Oh no. What happened here? Run. Run. Oh, there it was. Okay, I'm not patient enough. Okay, so it worked. Same thing. Okay, so we're going to go with the shorthand format from now on. Okay, so a couple things, right? We have a window, and I'm actually going to change this back to, I don't know, let's make it 400 by 400. Yeah, that's a nice size window. And let's start off by drawing, okay, say, a point in a window, and we'll just call it P. Okay, P for point, equals, and then in the graphics library, there's something called point, and this takes, as you can see from the type ahead here, right, an x and y value. Okay, now let me draw this for a second here. I'm going to draw the point at 200 comma 200. Okay, let me save it and run it, and I want you to take note of what doesn't happen. So here is our new window. Okay, there's no point, right? There's no point drawn on the window. That's because we created the point, but we didn't tell the point to be drawn on this window. Okay, couple other notes. This point up here is what we call the 0, 0 point, and this is the x-axis, and this is the y-axis. So by default, it's putting 0, 0 up here in the upper left-hand corner. So this point is 0, 0, okay? This point here is 200 comma 0, right? X is 200, right? And y is 0, okay? And then this point here, down here, is what? 0 comma 200, because this is the y-axis. It said 0 up here, and y goes down, so that's 200. And this point out here is at 200, 200. So the point that I'm about to draw right here should be right in the middle of the page. Well, not in the middle of the page, but in the middle of the window. So it should be at 200 comma 200, which is right here. Now, by the way, I said 200, 200 in the video. I actually made it 400. So let's just go back. 0, 0, 400, 0. And then 0, 400, and then 400, 400, okay? So let's go back into our code editor, and now we're going to say, hey, you know that window you created above, right? Okay, you know that window you created above, okay? Hold on one second. You know that window you created above, there is the variable to it, okay? Now what you need to do is you need to say, take that variable p, okay, there it is, p, and draw that particular point on the window, okay? So This is the point that you want to draw. Draw is the function that you want to call. And where you want to draw it goes here in the parentheses, okay? So when I save this and I run this, okay, I get a point right here. Do you see it? You should be doing this too, okay? You should get a point right in the middle of the window. And there it is, okay? There is the point, okay? Now, the next thing I want to do is let's draw another point. Let's call it P2 equals point. I don't know, let's just make it 300, 300, comma 300. And remember, we need to take that point. We need to call the draw method. Again, these are all documented in Chapter 4. And you need to draw it on the window, okay? So I'm going to save it, and then run it. And now you can see we have how many points? We have one at 200, comma 200, one at 300, comma 300. And this one, if we draw one up here, it's going to be at 100, comma 100. So let's do that. Let's create a new point. We'll call it point 3, P3. P3 equals, and then point, again, capitalization is important here, 100, comma 100. And we'll say take that point and draw it on the window. Okay, and save it and run it. And now we have 3 points going down a diagonal here. You see that? This is the one at 100, 100, 200, 200, and 300, 300. So I'll stop the video here. I'll leave the code up on the screen here at the end. And you can try to get this to work. You need to actually get this to work. It's very important. And let me know if you have any questions.